What's going on, guys? Flatline here. Thanks for tuning in to part 2 of my How to Dubstep series. Today we are going to be tackling the intro / breakdown and build-up section of your song. I made the executive decision to not build off the same drop that I used in the previous tutorial, and the reason for this is I don't want this series to be like a blueprint for you guys to just carbon copy everything I'm doing, not because I'm offended or anything, but because that's not the best way to learn. I want you to take the tips that I'm giving you and adapt them to any style. So I want to show you a variety of methods with a variety of genres, and well, not genres, it's dubstep, but you know what I'm saying. It's going to be different. I don't want to just build one song for you to copy all the way through. So I have a little bit of a heavier track that I'm working on here, and it's got a lot of metal inspiration, and it is coming out pretty awesome if I do say so myself. We got all sorts of electric guitars, bass, and as you can see, tons of drums, impacts, cymbals, risers. There's a whole lot going on here that we are going to break down. So let's just hop right into it. I am going to start off with the intro section, and this is going to bring me into tip 1. Always use markers. These little locators in Ableton are super helpful to give you an idea of where things are going to go before you just start throwing stuff into the DAW, because you can get really lost like that, and when you're first starting out, it's a lot easier to follow when you have like a plan. So I always mark where the intro section is going to be, mark where I want my little breakdown before the build, mark the build, and I should mark the drop. Drop 1. Okay, so let's start with the intro. I'm going to break everything down for you guys. It's not too complicated. This is just one way to go at it. There's a billion different possibilities, but this is just for the tutorial, and you can get an idea of how I would personally go about building an intro. So with my tracks, they're really bass heavy and intense heavy most of the time, so I always like to start with an impact right off the bat. And on top of that impact, usually I will have a cymbal. So right now we have this crash cymbal thing. As soon as you turn the song on, bam. And I just have an automation on the track volume for the cymbal here, and that's going down just so the tail isn't super long. So I wanted this song to start out really simple in the intro, just with some nice bass chugs, and then go into some nuttier stuff, and then back to the bass chugs for the breakdown. So it kind of helps when you have an idea in your head before you just jump right in, like I said. But here's what I did. So from the beginning, we have this. And if I unsolo these, here's what I have for the first 8 bars. And then I'll go into the effects and the drums and all that stuff. Okay, so this is a bass chug loop that I got from Sullivan King's pack off of Splice, and it's just, as you can hear, a simple bass riff. I have that impact in the cymbal right from the beginning, and this is going to lead up into the more intense part of the intro. So I used a sweep in the second half of this 8 bars that's slowly pulling up, and then a more noticeable riser. So this sounds like this. You don't want it to be too upfront, so I have the volume down, -8.7, and then I have this little Virtual Riot small riser, and it sounds like this. And I have a drum fill, which I think is a really good way to transition from different parts of your song. So you have something that's starting out very simple, you throw in a drum fill, boom, and then it's gonna hit. So with that, let's go into the next 8 bars. If I would be smart and unsolo this track. Okay, so all I did, literally, it's a drum loop from Sullivan King's Back. You can build this yourself. You can go for dubstep drums, the normal bro step pattern, or rhythm style. The most important thing about your intro, breakdown, build-up sequence is you're adding elements and you're taking elements out all the time. It's to create variation, to keep the listener interested up to your drop. So I throw in these really nice, heavy rock-style drums, and immediately brings a track over the top just from the intro. And that's all I have on these 8 bars. And coming in next for the other half of this is a guitar loop, again from Splice. Super simple. Let's see what this sounds like from the beginning. Okay, so all I added was this guitar loop. It didn't come this big originally. I had chopped a bunch of stuff up and put it together, but it's all a sample. One thing I actually immediately noticed going through this is I should probably have a crash here so that it's not so noticeable right when the guitar just starts hitting with, you know, you want to layer. Yeah, totally. Maybe even another one right there. Yeah, I like that. Except I don't want this one. Okay, so far minimal effects, nothing crazy, literally grabbing from samples. I'm using bass chugs here because that's the style of the song that I'm going for, but you could do anything. You could use a synth, a super saw if you want to have some chords playing, or any synth for that matter. And the keys change over time because you want to keep people interested. You want your track to take you somewhere. So I would use a filter or something. If you're starting this track out, maybe start with a low pass filter on your super saw playing your chords. And it's gonna open up with the auto filter, open up, and then maybe by 4 or 8 bars, it's playing all the way open, full frequencies, and you add in the higher octave notes to the chords, something like that. So the key is evolution. You want your track to keep moving forward. You never want it to sound static, and you don't want it to sound like block, 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 block. You want everything to flow. So that leads us straight into the breakdown, and the breakdown is basically after the listener, has gotten a taste for the style you're going for with the intro, you want to take it back to the breakdown, which is going to release the tension and let you build it up again for the drop. So, on my breakdown, all I did was continue the bass chugs, and I threw in these snares, kind of hyping the crowd up. So, I'll play the breakdown and let you hear what it sounds like from back here, so you have a little bit of context. Okay, so once again, this is all claps. That's it on quarter hits. You can use claps or snares. I'm using this kind of weird snare hit that actually needs some reverb because it sounds a little dry. Throwing some reverb. Cool, that'll take up some of the space. And don't hate me, cymatics. They have great samples. Don't be mad. Use cymatic samples. And then another drum fill, which is going to be your transition into the build-up. This doesn't have to be complicated. 99% of my songs have an intro breakdown build that looks like this. It's super simple. There's not too many effects. It's more, how can you add certain elements in one spot, take them away in others, and take the listener for a ride through your track. That's the whole goal. How can you make things smooth from one point to the other and keep it interesting? Doesn't need to be crazy. You don't have to go overboard. That's about it. So you have this drum fill at the end of the breakdown, and this is simply just to transition into your build-up. And the build-up continues the pattern with the claps here. It has another cymbal on the hit just to keep the energy going after the fill. I have a cymatics riser in the same key that my song is in. My drop is in the key of D, so I'm using a D riser. All these samples are in the key of D. It's important if you're using tonal elements, things that actually have a note, that you want to keep them in the same key so it all sounds coherent when you're done. And I threw on this drum loop from Sullivan King, which is the same one that I used back here, back in the build. And you'll hear why I use this. Originally, here, I'll play you what it sounded like originally. I had this part cut off, so... Oh yeah, and where is it? A vocal. I have in here. It's like a metal screamo kind of vocal. So here's what it sounds like all together, my build up. Yeah. So I had it like that, but after I extended this drum loop, it actually has a fill at the end here that I thought sounded super nice in the song, and that sounds like this. Yeah, sounds pretty sick. There's only one thing that I forgot to mention here, and this is the kicks. So originally I wasn't using these claps and the snare in the build-up. I was using these kicks, and they were slowly filtering in with an auto filter. So they started out low passed, and as time went on and they got faster and faster, closer together, I opened up the frequencies so that it would hit all the way open like they do in the main song. I didn't like them layered on top of this pattern, but I like this pattern better, so I only wanted to keep the ones at the end for the extra energy. And I just have an auto filter right here, automated as you can see, that's taking off the low end only for these kicks so that the mix doesn't sound muddy. You could do this with an EQ. I just had the auto filter on already, so that's what I used. If you didn't know, in automation you can highlight an entire clip, hold shift, and it will let you move this whole bar up and down, which is really handy. And that goes for anything that you're automating. You can just grab the area that you want to automate, hold shift, and you'll see it'll give you this little bar, and then you can move it up and down, just that section. Pretty useful tip if you didn't know. And that's really all I have. It's super simple. Intro, breakdown, build up doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be super complex. Your options are unlimited. In your intro, maybe you want to start with something super spacey and vibey like an ambient pad, or maybe an organ feel if you want some horror stuff, or you can start with just the drums and slowly bring in the melody. Maybe you want to start with the drums. There's a lot of options you have here. This is just the one that I chose to take. But the most important part about all of this You want to take the listener for a ride. You want their excitement to build up throughout the duration of your build. So you play them for the intro, they're listening, things are coming in, things are going out, they're still excited. Breaks down, tension's loose. Okay, you're moving, boom, the build-up hits. You're going, their heartbeat's racing, they're ready to headbang. Pre-drop comes, and then bam, hit them with the energy. This is dubstep. I mean, of course you could do... It's the same idea if you're making future bass or hybrid trap or any other genre, but the most important thing for dubstep specifically is the energy. So you gotta be able to build the energy and take it down, and build it and take it down whenever you want. And that's gonna do so much more for you than doing 5 hours worth of sound design and this and that. If you can harness the energy in your song and take the listener for a ride, that is all you need to do. One more tip I will tell you is that when it comes up to the very end of your build up here, if you want to, it's not going to work for my track because I have this little fill here, but you can take the master and throw an auto filter. Oh, it's probably 2 words. Yeah. You can put an auto filter on your master chain here, and you can make it high pass and start with it all the way open, right? So let's say I have... Oh shit, it's on the fill. My bad. Delete this real quick. You want to put your auto filter on the master. And you want to put high pass, like I said, open it up all the way. And then you can automate right when the tension's getting high here. You can say... And you want to be automating the frequency. And say you want to be at its highest right here. And what this is going to do, if you bring this all the way back down, I'll play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Exactly, so it really brings like everything together. It's a high pass filter on the master at the end. You'd be surprised how much that can help with the tension if you're having issues building it up and breaking it down. Little small things like that are a really big help. I'll play it one more time. Yeah, I mean, that's really about it. I'm gonna leave this for right now. And since I love you guys so much and I really appreciate all the support you've been giving me, I am gonna do a preview of this song that I'm working on right now. It's nowhere near finished, but been working my ass off on it. I think it's coming along pretty good, so I'll give you a full playthrough of what I'm working on, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you liked the tutorial. I hope it made sense for you. If you have any criticisms, comments, questions, leave them for me below. And follow me on my social media. My Discord channel is in the description. You can come join. I give music critiques to everyone who joins. And graphics sections. Anyone in the music scene, come join. Have a good time. And I hope you like the track, guys. Cheers. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned everything you wanted to learn in this tutorial. I can always go and revisit, hit things in more detail. Just leave me a comment. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.